you everyone for joining us today, Monday, November 15th, 2021, for our 12th and final episode for fall sports, that is, completing seasons this year in golf, girls softball, cross country, swimming, now volleyball and football, with Cowboy Coffee with Coaches, a podcast created to recognize and promote our student athletes, focusing on high school varsity sports, their coaches, and mentors. My name is Bobby Gutierrez, and I just want to take a moment to thank my fellow host, Tiffany Jahoric, owner-operator of Crystal Meadow Farms, for agreeing to do this podcast with us. And a big thank you to Rich Klinsman, owner-operator of Step Beyond Media, also for agreeing to help us launch this show for nothing but the fun of it, and hope it maybe turns into something. Thanks both of you so much for your technical knowledge and how it all works and putting it all together, the videos and everything. But a big thank you and your willingness to get involved and try something new like this. Also want to thank Lucas Turner of the Rio Blanco Herald-Times for this great studio and allowing us to use it. And it is kind of a community thing. I think that's kind of what he's wanting and hoping for. Hopefully we can come up with some spin-offs from this and create some more fun and hoopla as well. And also a big thank you to Nikki and Caitlin, owners of the Rio Blanco Herald-Times, for giving us the press passes so that we can go in and cover these forums and also all these different platforms to spread our hoopla. Big thank you. And of course, a big thank you to all the listeners. Thanks so much for the support, for tuning in. We hope to make it better each week. And again, thanks for giving us a chance and listening. Tiffany will give us results from this last weekend here in just a moment. But first, I'd like to thank the coaches, including our two guests today, Meeker volleyball coach Greg Cravens and Meeker football coach Shane Phelan, for being here with us today as they ended their seasons here just last weekend. Also, thank you to our golf coach, Willie Theus, girls softball coach, Kendall Bergman, our cross-country coach, Marty Casey, swimming coach, Shelley Rogers, and, of course, activities director, Clark Kindler. All were guests on our show this season, and Coach Kindler, I think, starts basketball practice tonight.
Basketball, wrestling, all basketball. Yeah, everything starts tonight.
Yeah, I think fall sports, they get going tonight. So they're all guests on our show. Thank you. I hope to see them more here in the future. Again, congratulations to all of them on great seasons, and thanks to all the coaches for supporting our effort, really, in recognizing and promoting our student athletes. It's been a lot of fun to watch and follow. We raised some great kids here today, and we're going to give Coach Phelan, Coach Cravens a chance to brag on them a bit. Their assistant coaches and probably shout out to their wives, who've a suggestion anyway.
Hint.
But yeah, thanks for sharing them with us. I know it's a lot of time away, and we appreciate everything. It's been a lot of fun. Again, thanks. We'll go to Tiffany now, who will recap the 2021 State Volleyball Championships held at the Broadmoor at the World Arena in Colorado Springs, and the 1A Colorado State Football Championships in Buena Vista last Saturday.
So
Thanks,
lots
Tiffany.
going on. So if I stumble my way through this, you guys can correct me as we go
We're all
along.
good.
All right. So we're going to start with volleyball. They opened up on Thursday, and they opened up with Rye. Rye actually had beat Lyman in the first game in the first round of the playoffs and in Colorado Springs, and so they opened up with Rye. They started a little slow, but they came back winning the next 3 sets to take that. Then they moved on to Wiggins. Wiggins was a different cat. Wiggins played tough. Like Coach told me, there weren't a lot of errors, and so Wiggins really had to earn their win, and they got it done. But it was nice this year. Of course, we've talked about in a couple previous shows that the bracket changed this year. It went from single elimination to double elimination. So the girls actually then got an opportunity to play again Saturday morning, and they opened up against Lyman.
Right.
And they beat Lyman 3-0. When we first played Lyman back in September, I believe it was, they were kind of missing their main player, but it didn't stop the girls. They still took them 3-0, and it was a great game. Then they came back because we had moved over from the championship bracket over to the losers bracket. When we came back into the semifinals, we had to play Sedgwick County, which was the #1 seed in the state, to go into the finals. And Sedgwick County is a tough team. You know, they really worked their way through the championship quite easily this week. So.
Yeah, and they're all tough, as I was mentioning with Coach. When you get to state, it's they play the games. There were some upsets, but yeah, they're all tough, and it's
I think that the biggest thing that I noticed, if you were watching some of these teams, the girls had a ton of energy. And they stayed positive. And I think that that's probably one of the biggest things that you could say about our girls is they have a great attitude on the court. So they did lose to Sedgwick, and that ended their road to a state championship. But, they made it to the Final Four, and so that's amazing. If we look at some of the stats for the week, really, Emma killed it 114 times, for real. And then for real, yeah. Ainsley Selly had 15, and Savvy picked it up this week with 10 and did a fabulous job. In digs, Sarah Kraft again picked up most of them with 117.
Oh wow!
And so she was really working that back row and doing a great job.
Yeah, that was fun. Kind of the whole season to watch them all kind of come along and all step up and play, bring their game up, and but there's several young players. Ainsley, one of them.
Yep.
Is going to be fun to watch. And
Ainsley and Ellie are quite young.
Yep.
The serving box was a little weird. It was really small. I mean, maybe third the size of our normal where they kind of go, and so some of the girls struggled with that in the beginning. But you can really, if you look at the stats as the games go on, they adjust well, so that's great. And I have to mention too that and this makes my shoulders sore to say this, but Tatum finished the year with 954 assists.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow,
it's amazing.
That's
and
great.
So she's the #1 across all classes, right, Coach?
She won't be after all the other.
Okay, but she'll be up there.
Yeah,
She'll be way up there. And then Emma finished with 670 kills, and I would expect her to be #1 across all classes.
Yeah, and that's great. We the thing that I really appreciate is how our kids are competitive. We do have high expectations for them each year. Which kind of is tough to take when the season ends, but they give it their all, and they're competitive, and hopefully they keep their heads up and go on. Here we go, basketball and wrestling. So it's all good. And now on the football.
Yeah, so we traveled to Buena Vista for quarterfinals. We had played Buena Vista before and lost a heartbreaker in the last 4 seconds when Buena Vista kicked a field goal. It was tough on the team. So, the Cowboys opened up, hit the board first, but then Buena Vista answered, and that's kind of how it went. We'd score, they'd tie it up, we scored, they tie it up. And then it was 14 seconds left on the clock, and they were within field goal range again. But it was a nice windy day in Buena Vista, and he missed it, and that was great. So then we went into overtime, and Buena Vista scored right off the bat. Kicked a field goal, or not field goal.
Scored a touchdown?
No, PAT.
Extra point.
Extra point. Thank you. There's so many different kicking words. Anyway. And so then they kicked the PAT. They were up by 7. And unfortunately, we turned the ball over when we had it. And so that ended the game. So it was 22 to 15.
Doggone, yeah. I wasn't able to go to the game. Was kind of following your live stream. That was cool. And,
yeah. Yep, Henry Creasy was in there a little bit on my live stream. Thank you, Henry.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
If we look at some of the yardage for the day, Kelton had 153 yards. Dagan Dade had 25, and Porter Hossack had 21. It's been really nice seeing Dagan Dade kind of pick up some more yardage as the season went on. And then defensively, Kelton had 19 tackles, and then Buzz, Brendan Clatterbaugh, and Elijah LeBlanc each had 12, and then Zach Simonson had 10. And then stats for the whole year. Connor Blunt passed for 457 yards. Kelton rushed for 1768. He was leading the team and the state, by the way, in Class 1A. But his all-purpose yards were 2,002. Deming had 243 yards, all-purpose yards 839. Porter Hosick rushed for 192. But Clay Crawford actually had 374 all-purpose yards. So
Clay's a freshman, right?
He's a freshman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Then touchdowns, Kelton had 25, Connor had 6, and Liam had 5. In tackles, Kelton had 105.
Oh, my.
But Zach Gustafson actually led with 108, and then Zach Simonson had 69.
Oh, good.
And then if we look at kicking, John Hampton had
kicking, yes,
right, 3,291 yards.
Kicking. How you figure that?
Did I add my numbers wrong?
On kicking.
Kickoffs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Kickoffs.
you weren't wrong. We're just going how.
Again, all those kicking words. All right. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. So,
Well,
yeah.
Well, thanks for that. We're going to take a short break. We'll come back with Coach Phelan and let him recap his season for us. This last game here last week, brag a little bit on his seniors and maybe tell us what he's looking forward to next year.
Yeah.
Come on back. We'll be right back. Thanks. All right, we are back, and we're joined by Meeker football coach, head coach, Shane Phelan. Thanks for joining us, Coach. Congratulations on another successful season. Went into the quarterfinal round of the 1A State Football Championships. Season ended last Saturday in Buena Vista. Maybe if you tell us just a couple comments on that game, and then maybe recap the season for us and what you're looking forward to next year.
Oh, well, first of all, thanks for having me, Bobby and Tiffany and Rich. We went to Buena Vista last weekend, and it was a good, hard-fought game, a little back and forth, low-scoring kind of affair. It ended up in overtime. Buena Vista was able to kind of make a play there at the end, and we couldn't keep them out of the end zone, and then we got our turn on offense, and we just couldn't quite get it done. We had multiple opportunities throughout the game. We had some chances there in the second, third, and fourth quarter to do some things, and we just weren't able to capitalize at a few key moments.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look back on it, but the kids played awful hard, did everything we asked them to do, and sports are like that. Sometimes you come out on the short end of the stick, but we were awful proud of the effort that was put forth, and they left everything they could out there and did a great job for us.
Yeah, that's all competitive, and we are competitive, and the expectations are always high. The kids don't give up, and that's kind of a key thing there. So
And there's always disappointment at the end of the
Sure.
season, and
only one team gets to win.
yeah, and so you do the very best you can,
Right.
and then at the end of the day, you got to be able to live with it. And
Indeed.
that's kind of how sports go. So those guys did very well. We had 10 seniors that were on the field for the last time. So we had Zogger Brown, Damick Chintala, Liam Deming.
Surely you can't be serious.
Sure.
He does have those movie star looks.
Yes, he does. He does.
Liam Deming, for sure.
Liam Deming, Zach Eskelson, Ty Gaddert, John Hampton Hightower, Porter Hosick, Trendon Powell, Zach Simonson, and Kelton Turner. And, all of them been a big part of the program for
For a number of years, yes.
Yeah, and, done a lot of great things, seen a lot of great growth out of those guys as far as football players and as young men. And that's something you really enjoy about coaching. You get to watch them grow up before your eyes, and couldn't be prouder of this group of guys that have added a lot of value to the culture of the team and helped us along our way. I think they've set a nice example for our younger players and what the expectations are and how we go about doing our business each and every week and how we conduct ourselves as Meeker athletes. And so
there's been a lot of comments from the freshman parents about the leadership value of the seniors this year and about how they've been kind to the younger kids. That's amazing.
They've done a really nice job. Now, that's not to say they're not knotheads sometimes. I don't want to overpraise,
Right.
they is a good group of guys, and we enjoyed being around them each and every day this year.
Yeah, and that's kind of fun watching the younger kids from the elementary through how they kind of look up to the football players and all the football players, but the seniors, they make that extra effort as well, and real good leadership, and that kind of starts from you guys. Maybe a comment on your assistants and.
Well, we had Andy Coryell, Matt Dupier, Matt Scott, and Darby Finley helped this year. And then we had Ross McGee helped us at the beginning of the year for a little bit. He was able to pull away from his job as a game warden to help us during the preseason, which was really appreciated. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. But those guys did an outstanding job. I don't really do much. I just kind of go, and those guys take care of everything. So I feel awful fortunate to have the opportunity to get to work with those guys. And I think our kids and parents should also feel very fortunate that those guys are in their sons' lives. So I can't thank them enough for all they do.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And anything else? Anyone else?
Wait, there's a million people. To put on a football season takes a million people. There's scoreboard operators and announcers and guys running the chains, and Coach Craven takes care of the field for us. And
and someone who follows the bus with food.
Yeah, there's a million things. Parents help out so much. And if I tried to list them all, I'd miss half of them, and I'd take.
I was pointing to maybe one.
Yes, so was I. I was saying the same thing.
The wives. Yeah, the coaches' wives do a ton.
God bless them. God bless them.
Yep, and there's time away from family.
Oh, sure.
A lot of time and effort is involved, and maybe a little crankiness in times, and they are willing to put up with the nonsense that goes along with the high school sports season, and we thank them very much as well.
For sure.
Their caring and compassion is much appreciated.
Good job, Coach. Okay, so now next year, let's we graduate there's a big senior class, of course, but underclassmen, the quarterback was underclassman, and so we have some kids coming back. Maybe tell us a little bit about that and what you're looking forward to next year.
Well, yeah. For me, it's a little early to turn the page. We're just on Monday. Okay. But
I was just trying to help you get over it.
Sure, part of the recovery process.
Okay.
We have a good core nucleus of young guys that, at this point, it's about what they do for the next 9 months till we roll around again. We really try to encourage them to get involved in a winter sport. We think it's important that Meeker provides that opportunity. Some places you don't get that opportunity to be multi-sport athletes, and we think that doing these other things in the winter and in the spring really helps them become better athletes and better people by the time they roll back around to us again. So that's the first step. Hopefully we get a lot of them involved in a lot of other activities as the year progresses, and then we'll work. It's going to be about some of the work you put in the summer, and like I said, a good core nucleus. Juniors and sophomores, the freshman guys, I'm really excited about that class because I think there's a lot of growth potential.
Okay.
Literally and figuratively on that one,
yes, they're small in stature but big in heart. But there's going to be a lot of changes take place in that group through the next year or so, and we're excited where that goes. And I think it's we're blessed here in Meeker with with really good kids, and
Right.
Yes.
if we can get them to put in the time in the off season, and if it's important to them, we've got an opportunity to come back next year and try to retool and figure out where the different parts go and make another run at it.
There you go.
Yeah, so I don't know if any of you guys saw too on Facebook that there was a lot of commenting from the Buena Vista crowd about the sportsmanship of the boys and how they played hard, and it was really nice to watch.
Good.
Nice. Nice.
And that is good, and that's kind of what it is all about, is trying your hardest, and what happens, and but it's a lot of fun to watch, and thanks for your effort and what you do, and get them ready to play every week, and again, it's fun to watch, and I'm looking forward to watching them in the winter sports.
Well, me too.
Yep.
Yeah, so thank you so much for your support and coming on to our show and helping us get this going. And but yeah, we appreciate your support, not only on this but coaching the kids. So
Thank you
Yep.
guys for. I think anytime you get an opportunity to kind of promote our, like you talk about our student athletes, and these guys, a lot of these guys and girls, all of our Meeker student athletes, they really are good students too.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes that gets overlooked. That
right,
we have a lot of valedictorians and very high achieving young men and women that we deal with, and it's exciting to get to talk about them a little bit.
good,
Yeah.
and thanks for doing that with us. So
Yeah. Thank you, Coach.
okay,
Thank you.
We'll be right back with Coach Cravens. Thank you very much, Coach. All right, welcome back, and we're joined by Meeker volleyball coach, Coach Greg Cravens. Thank you for joining us, Coach, and again, thank you for your support this season, and thank you for a great season, a great run, a lot of fun to watch. We had a great team this year. Some of the best players in the state, statistically, as well as just some of the best players in the state,
Right.
as kids, etc. I'll give you a little chance here to talk about them and tell us about last weekend and kind of recap your season, if you would, Coach.
Yeah, so it was an incredible season, and you're exactly right. I mean, I had some very good volleyball players, but I have great kids. I just love them to death. So this weekend, you and I talked about, I mean, it's the top 12 teams, so we got to be ready to go, and we're going to battle all weekend long. And we started with Rye on Thursday, and like you said, Tiffany, we always, all year long, we just had a slow start. And I don't mean to say that the girls weren't ready or prepared or anything. It just took us a while to get the juices flowing and stuff.
I think the other two thing is Rye had already played that day. They had
I
already
agree.
been out there, played, and seen the World Arena and experienced it. And I think that was a huge factor.
I agree. And I mean, you always like to have those upper seeds so you can get a bye in the first round. But I agree. I think Rye, excuse me, I think Rye was ready to go, and like you said, the service area was a little bit smaller than we're used to, and it took us a while to just adjust. But by the time the kids got it going, we started playing very well again, and I just love the way the kids have come together this year. I mean,
Right,
it's a great group of seniors who just brought those kids in and taught our culture of our program. And it's just been, I mean, I think it showed all year long how well those kids got together. So then we go into Friday and we have Wiggins, and Wiggins, very good program, very good.
Defending state champs.
Yep, exactly. And they were ready to battle. And thankfully our girls were ready to battle too, and it was a great match, and went back and forth.
Boy,
Ended up
yeah.
going
Some
five
smacking,
sets.
Yeah, it didn't end the way we wanted it to, but it was fun to watch.
Yeah, and
Some
I
of
was
those,
Their
some of those
libero was
volleys were
amazing.
like, their volleys were, it was good watching.
and I mean, I was sour about losing afterwards, but I got home to the hotel and I looked at the stats, and I'm proud of what we did during that match, because a lot of times when we were losing during the season, it was because we were making errors. And if you look at the stats, we didn't make a lot of the usual errors we made. Wiggins were earning their points and we were fighting. And I mean, I take that to that game is that, I mean, our girls battled, and I was really proud of them for that. And then came back Saturday morning and took on Lyman. I know several of the Lyman parents. I mean, we just have a great relationship with that school, and they're great kids also. And I actually coached one
Second
of their
time we'd
kids.
seen them this year.
Yeah. And I mean, they're kind of like our team. They have one really good player and a whole bunch of kids that just work hard. And like Tiffany was saying, when we saw them in September, they were missing that leaper girl who was had a knee injury, so she was back. So we were a little bit worried about what they had and how she was going to make them better and stuff like that. And the girls just came out Saturday morning and just took it to them. I was really proud of what they did. I mean, a lot of kids stepped up to the moment, and I was really proud of what they did. And we took care of Lyman, and feeling great about going into the semifinals, and turned around and got the kids something to eat, and turned around and started playing again. And Sedgwick County is state champions this morning because they're good. They were hitting over our blocks out on the left side and picking up everything we had. So it was a battle, and again, I looked at the stats afterwards, and we didn't make a lot of errors. We didn't give them points. Those kids had to earn those points. So, I mean, I walk away from this tournament really proud of what we did, and so proud of the girls, and it was just a great experience for all of us.
Yeah, we finished as the best Western Slope team.
Yeah, and I had all the refs that come down from this area and go down there and ref and stuff, we all kind of take pride in the Western Slope.
Right.
And they all came over afterwards and told the girls congratulations and told us a way to represent the Western Slope. And I tell the girls during the season, that's part of what we do when we go down there, is we're not only representing Meeker and our families, but we're representing the Western Slope, and I want to make a good stand down there. So it was good.
And the three top teams were from the Eastern Slope. We came up with that Buena Vista competition or tournament at the end there. Do you see trying to schedule some of these Eastern Slope teams? Well, we did get Lyman over here.
Yeah, exactly.
But because they play a different style. I think I don't know if it's a different style, but
they're big. If we look at the Meeker girls, we're not big. I mean, Emma is obviously quite tall, right? But those girls on the other teams are just so tall.
Yeah,
they're
I
big
agree.
Girls.
Usually, when we have one or two really good kids, and Emma, they have 3 or 4 good kids. Like Sedgwick County had 3 kids that could hit the ball hard, could jump well, and I mean played very good volleyball. So I would love to be able to go over there. It's such a long trip, and I love the relationship we have with Lyman, and we go back and forth. If you ask some of those other schools, they don't like coming up here. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I mean the reverse side of it is going there is a long trip and all that kind of stuff. But we continue looking to see if we can find some Eastern Slope
good
teams
competition,
that'll come up here, and we'll go down there.
Yes, and okay, so maybe kind of recap the season and talk about your seniors a little bit and your assistants maybe, and
All right.
And you're married too, right?
Yeah. Well, not during the
saying.
fall, but the rest of the time, happily married. So it was a great season. Like I said earlier, I mean, coaching and getting wins and all that kind of stuff is important, but watching the kids grow, like Coach Phelan was saying, watching them grow from what they were when they were freshmen to what the senior group was this year, that's the best part of coaching, I think. So we had 4 seniors, Aspen, Savvy, Tatum, and Sarah, and I mean, at the end of the season, the speech at the end of the year, I always hate it because I try to be stoic and I'm the head coach, so I'm not supposed to be emotional and all that kind of stuff. And then I look up and see Savvy and Sarah breaking down, and it's hard for me at the end of the year because I'm losing 4 of my daughters. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I mean, those kids get to me and they get in my heart, and I'll love them forever. And with that said, I know, I'm tearing up already. They'll be all mad at me. Even with that, I come up and Sophie Garrett was there this weekend.
Yes, I saw her.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, we become a family, and all those kids, Paige Jones she's texting me during the match. She's texting me. I'm like, Paige, I'm a little busy right now. So, I mean, they become part of our family, and Beck takes them in, and we'll love them forever now. So it's just a great experience to be with those kids.
Well, I don't think we can sum up the season without saying it was absolutely successful. You know,
I agree.
I mean, it was a great season, and again, I go back to just the attitude of our Meeker kids. They fight hard, but they stay positive. They stay encouraging, you know, football and volleyball. And one thing that I saw is that those teams that lost this weekend didn't have that. You know, the teams that, you know, were out right away, they didn't have that positivity. They didn't have that upbeat feeling on the court. And so, you know, the seniors did a great job in leading the team, and I'm really proud of them.
A lot of that I think comes from leaving it all on the court. You try your best, and what happens kind of deal. And
and what's really nice is that other people see it. So throughout the weekend, I'd have other coaches, other refs come over and watch the kids play, and I'd have friends that I've been coaching with forever that are over on the 4A and 3A courts, and they say, "Oh my God, we were watching your kids play, and they just play so hard, and they play with so much passion," and it's just nice to hear those kind of things. And one of the things I'm proudest of, and I got the compliments the most of, is my kids that don't get to play a lot were cheering every ball up and down, screaming and yelling, and had all these cheers, and they would say stuff, and I look at them, well, that was funny. And they just did a great job. All those kids, and they were fun when we went out to eat, and it was great.
Yeah, I think that's kind of part of building a program. You saw the benches, real supportive benches, you say, but also in the stands, younger girls, not only freshmen or high school kids that weren't on the varsity, but even middle school and grade school girls looking up to these girls and getting some of that experience and hopefully thinking how they're going to play and perform.
I agree, and I tell the girls all the time that they're role models now. I like Emma and Aspen and Savvy and those guys. They have been a role model for my daughter for the last few years, and now she's going through the program. So we talk about that a lot, especially during the summer when we do youth camps and stuff like that. As part of our responsibilities being part of the program is to pass on the passion for the game and stuff, and these girls do a great job of that. And you're exactly right. I mean, it was great seeing the Rogers kids and the Coriel kids up in the stands just going nuts whenever something went well. So it was awesome.
And a big part of that is your assistants, and maybe a word or two on them. And
I agree. Clea and Kayleen, they take care of so much stuff, and those girls love them to death, and Kayleen and Clea, they do everything for me. I mean, they run the program I just look pretty.
There you go.
And we all agree to that. But I mean, everything they do, we're in Buena Vista, and Aspen is dehydrated, and we need to get her to the ER. So Kayleen and Clea just take care of that for me. I wake up in the morning, and my wife's texting me, "Hey, what happened to Aspen?" And I'm like, "We all went to bed together. Everything's fine." Well, it turns out Kayleen and Keela took care of her, and it's just, I mean, they just do so much for the kids, and they do so much for me, and I couldn't be happier. They take out time from their families, and it's just great to have them around. And like I say, they do all the work, and I just sit around and look pretty.
There you go.
And then before you guys have
and
to
now
key
maybe
me,
something on the real pretty
Yeah,
one
exactly.
of the family.
Beck and I mean, she was a volleyball kid when she grew up, and she knows what it's about. And she actually coached with me for a few years.
And still does with the middle school.
Yeah,
and
well,
stuff.
she didn't this year since Gracie's in high school now, but she's coached for a long time. So she understands what it's about. And she knows that during the season I'm going to be, she says this all the time, is that she'll find pieces of paper all over the house with lineups on it and who I could switch around if I need to and all that kind of stuff. And she just smiles and takes it. And she knows that nights I'm going to come home and I'm going to be grumpy. And she's just a great person overall. And I think what I appreciate the most about him is she takes in all of our girls and, hey, whatever you need. And she does that for most of the school, actually, now that she's working at the high school. But I mean, the girls know that they could come to her for anything. And I love her for that. So.
Well, good. And we love you, Coach, and what you do for the kids. And this has been a lot of fun. Been a fun season. A lot of fun to watch. Maybe kind of tell us we had some of the best players in the state. We're going to graduate some of them, but we're going to bring back a few good ones too.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe a little bit about what'll happen in the off season, what you're looking forward to next year.
So I agree. Just like Coach Phelan was saying, I mean, we encourage these kids to go out and play other sports. And you read articles about how multiple sport athletes, they use other parts of their brain and they become more rounded people and stuff like that. So it even happened in my family. Gracie was kind of I just want to play volleyball type kid. And then about midway through the volleyball season, she goes, I guess I'm going to play basketball. Coach Rogers has been asking. And all the girls are, you playing basketball? You playing basketball?
Sure.
So now she's going to be playing basketball also. And to me,
team involvement.
Exactly. To me, those kids staying together and playing other sports and doing other things together only makes my program stronger. So we encourage them to do that. We'll hit it hard again in the summer. We'll be in the weight room. These younger classes coming up are really good about getting in the weight room and working out and getting stronger, getting faster. So I look forward to having those. I mean, we're going to have Emma back, which, Emma is going to be number one in the state in kills. She's going to be, what was the other one? She's fourth in the state in digs. So she's an incredible athlete, and she plays volleyball year round, and she's good at what she does because she works hard at it, and I appreciate everything she does. And then our job next year is to build up some younger kids. I'm losing 4 seniors that are incredible. I mean, like Tiffany was saying, Tatum's probably going to end up 4th in the state in assists. So I'm losing some whole, and I need to mention this because she'd be very upset, but Aspen got a block this weekend, so we're very excited about that. It doesn't rank
Not
up
for
in
lack
the
of effort.
state.
I've seen her. I've taken pictures of her, and her eyes are closed. Well,
We were all very excited when that happened.
it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt.
So I'm losing some great kids, but I mean, you're exactly right. Ainsley Sully brought it on at the end of the year. She was our go-to kid when Emma was in the back row. And then I had Ellie, who was incredible serving this weekend. I mean, she kind of lost a little of her mojo at the end of the regular season. Boy, but I mean, this playoff run, she's come back to it, and I mean, she probably leads. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at this, but she's pretty close to leading for
she has
service
some
attempts.
confidence. I like.
And
Ellie, she comes out and she smacks that ball down, just like, okay, here we go.
What's great about her is we'll talk about what she needs to do on defense and stuff like that, and I'll say, "Hey, Ellie, I need you to move the line more," and she goes, "Okay, I'll get it done." She'll just look at me. I got it done, and she just works hard at what she does. And then our JV team, I mean, they probably only lost 3 or 4 matches all year long.
Good.
Kayleen has those kids ready to go. And like I've said, Kayleen and Clea are incredible at showing those kids the skills. So when they get to me, when it's time for them to play varsity, we're talking more about what's happening on the other side and how to read and stuff like that, because they're so good at the skills already. So
Good.
the future looks bright, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, all right. Well, thank you, Coach, so much. Again, congrats on a successful season.
Thank you.
And thanks for supporting and playing along with us. It was tough the other night asking you to do an interview after the loss. I appreciate you stepping in there and doing that. And it was hard, but that's kind of
and I mean,
sure.
You're exactly right when you said the sun comes up. I need to be a role model with the kids. Is that even though we lost, everything's going to be all right. We're playing a game, really. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And the relationships we create, that's what's important
there
about
you
this
go.
whole thing. If we lose, we lose. As long as we played as hard as we could, I'm good with it. So.
Yeah, and what an experience, the kids getting to go down there and experience that whole atmosphere. The younger ones getting to see kind of what it's about. So hopefully they kind of take it from there.
So the stuff you guys don't see is all the stuff that happens underneath the grandstands and all that kind of stuff. So Dave Walk, who was at Grand Valley forever.
Mm-hmm. And Rangeley originally.
Yeah, Rangeley. He's checking the teams in, and we always have a great time with him. And this year, he made the kids dance before he'd let us come in, and it's all that fun stuff down there.
Oh, that's what that was.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So usually he makes me dance, and we've decided that that's not good for anyone. So the girls dance and sing, and we just have a great time, and we get to be with the other teams and meet those kids, and it's just a great experience. And the World Arena was a great venue. I enjoyed that a lot.
It was a good, nice venue.
Coliseum's always nice to be in Denver and so much stuff to do, but World Arena, there was hotels around and we could eat, and it was a great place. I was really impressed.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes, so was I.
Yeah, it was a good spot. And I think we should mention that for refs from Meeker, we had Mindy and Christy that went down.
Yeah, and they've been state tournament officials several times.
Yeah, they have, and they do a great job.
Quality. You have to be good, one of the best to get invited down there to refs. So good for them. Hats off to them.
All right. Well, thank you.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for doing this. I think it's a great idea, and I love watching all of the podcasts. So you guys keep doing it all winter, and I'll be one of the first to view it.
All right. Well, we appreciate that, and again, appreciate the support and all you did for the kids in this season. Good job, Coach. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
We'll be right back and kind of wrap it up and let you know what we got coming up. Thank you. Take care. All right, we are back, and I just want to kind of wrap this up and thank again Tiffany and Rich for pulling this podcast off this season and kind of talk that we're going to do it through the winter sports, where we will have where practice officially begins today for winter sports, girls and boys basketball, as well as wrestling. I know that the coaches usually give the football players and volleyball players some time off before they start, but CHSA allows the winter sports to officially start practicing with their coaches tonight, and that'll happen. Boys are coached by Clark Kindler. Girls are coached by Jamie Rogers, who is confirmed to be our
first guest.
Next week. We look forward to that. And wrestling will be coached again this year by J.C. Watt. So we hope to have him as a guest as well several times throughout the upcoming winter sports season. But we'll turn it over to Tiffany. She'll kind of give us a student athlete or athletes of the week. And
I'd also like to say thank you, guys. This was fun. I think that we've really also improved over this time frame. Right?
Getting better each week.
Each week we are getting better.
Keep trying.
And then also just thank you. A big shout out to all the coaches. You know, we ask them to come in early, you know, win or lose, and they've just really stepped up and done a great job. I also think that we have talked about, and I think we're going to try and find some other avenues for people to watch this, and we'll get that out there. So then really quickly, though, before we jump into the athlete of the week, I just want to say that, yes, basketball, and wrestling start this week. The first contests are December 2nd through the 4th is the girls shootout. So that will be coming right up. And then that same weekend on December 4th, the wrestling team, the varsity will be at the CMU Duels, and the JV will be in Olathe at that tournament. So that's exciting. Looking forward to that for sure. But so going to athletes of the week, it's really hard to choose one. You know, I think one of the best things about getting into playoffs, of course, it's fun and we have a great, you know, team to watch and all of that. But these younger athletes just got 2 to 3 more weeks of a season, which is huge when we talk about experience, because experience really makes the team. And so, you know, and they all stuck with it. They all tried hard. They stayed in the weight room. You know, they continued to practice hard. So hats off to both the volleyball team and the football team. You know, as a combined group, they are our athletes of the week, and we just couldn't be prouder of them.
Right, good choice, and that's true. In that they do get extra time, extra practice, and experience, and also get to experience the playoffs and the state tournament, which is really the goal. And to win it all is obviously the goal, but that's hard to do.
It is hard to do,
but you keep trying.
Yeah. And I think that, you know, the kids are tired, you know, they're sore, they're beat up, and they continue to move forward, and it gives them a teeny tiny piece of adulthood. So good job, kids. Super proud of you.
For sure. For sure. So thanks again to everybody. Thanks again to listening. We hope to kind of make some improvements. We want to bring start doing some commercials, advertising our goods. I sell coffee. Tiffany sells CBD. Rich sells
everything digital.
Everything
pretty much
digital.
everything digital. Yeah.
So we want to kind of get that out and again continue to promote and highlight our kids and student athletes and coaches and all. So again, thanks for tuning in, keeping up. We hope to get better as we go, and we look forward to the winter sports. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.